Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode corporate filings so you don't have to. Today, we're diving into a report from GT Biopharma. It's a story of warrants, deals, and a little bit of financial maneuvering, so buckle up, because this might get a bit twisty. Let's kick things off with what the company calls a material definitive agreement. In plain language, it means they made a deal, a pretty important one. This report is all about a warrant inducement, which sounds complicated, but it's actually a common way for companies to raise money. GT Biopharma, like many smaller companies, has warrants floating around. Warrants are basically options that allow their holders to buy shares of GT Biopharma stock at a set price. These warrants were already out there, held by various investors, and now the company is trying to get those investors to use them. Think of it like this: GT Biopharma offered these warrant holders a sweet deal. Hey, use your warrants now and we'll give you a discount. Specifically, they reduced the price to $2.27 per share. But there's a catch, of course. To make the deal even more attractive, GT Biopharma is also throwing in new warrants. It is like saying, exercise your old warrants and we'll give you shiny new warrants. These new ones are called Series A and Series B inducement warrants, and they allow holders to buy even more shares. It's worth noting that the original warrants were registered for resale with the SEC earlier this year. This means the investors who buy the stock can then sell it to someone else. It's about making sure everything is above board with the Securities and Exchange Commission. So what's the value of these shiny new warrants? The holders can use them to buy over 600,000 shares of common stock at $2.02 apiece. However, there are some ground rules. For instance, no one can use these warrants to own too much of the company. The Series A warrants can be used right away and last for 5 years. The Series B warrants are also available immediately, but they expire in about 18 months. Time is of the essence if the holders want to use them. Just like the original warrants, these new ones need to be registered for resale. The company has promised to file a registration statement with the Securities and Exchange Commission to make this happen. This allows the holders to sell their shares freely on the market. GT Biopharma has promised to do it within a reasonable timeframe, but like all things SEC related, there could be delays. So how much money did GT Biopharma actually get from all of this? About $700,000 before any fees or expenses are taken out. And what are they going to do with the money? Well, they say they will use it for general operations. For those who are interested, the actual documents for these warrants and agreements are available as exhibits in the filing. It's all there in the fine print, but you don't have to read it because I'm doing it for you. Now we come to the legalese. Basically, this section confirms that the company didn't register these new warrants or the shares they can buy with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and it explains why they didn't need to, because it was a private placement. Finally, we have the exhibits, which are just the actual documents we talked about earlier, so nothing new there. Now, let's zoom out and see what all this means for GT Biopharma. The company is clearly in a position where it needs to raise capital. This warrant inducement is a way to do that without taking on debt. By offering a discount and new warrants, GT Biopharma convinced warrant holders to use their options now rather than later. This brings in much-needed cash. On the flip side, it also means more shares are being issued, which can dilute the value of existing shares. It's a balancing act. One notable risk is that the company needs to get that resale registration statement approved by the SEC. If there are delays or if the market conditions change, it could affect how attractive those warrants are to potential investors. Overall, this warrant inducement seems like a tactical move by GT Biopharma to shore up its finances. It's not a long-term solution, but it can buy them time to develop their therapies and hopefully become profitable. Thanks for watching Corporate Decoder. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us keep decoding these filings so you don't have to.